Now, y'all seen my thoughts on oil, you see my thoughts on the overall market, but now how can you execute to the downside if the market does roll over and QQQ does end up breaking to the downside of this trend line right here? Okay. Now, obviously, y'all know that I do think we'll see more upside than downside. I'll say that, but this can change any moment, like I've been saying for a long time now, right? But overall, this would be how I would execute my downside play if we do end up actually rolling over for QQQ. Obviously, you already know the upside play, right? Y'all would choose the right sector like Nimbus or like any data centers and keep on longing stocks that you're wanting to long, right? Now, but the downside is when you actually need to start pivoting from your current portfolio in which you're holding, right? If you're still holding tech stocks, you already got absolutely demolished out of the markets, right? So right now, let's look at um, the first thing that I would be looking at for a hedge or a play for the downside, okay? That would be SQQ, okay? SQQ is a direct short on QQQ itself. So obviously, this would be a good play if QQQ breaks the downside. Very obvious play, right? Very obvious play. But now let's just say you don't actually want to hold a ETF like this, right? Let's just say, or a mutual fund, or whatever you want to call it, right? Now, if we want to short an actual physical name, okay, there's a couple that you have on the board here, right? There is one, Apple, okay? Apple did break to the downside of this trend line today, this morning, right? We still need retests and so on, but we did break to the downside of this trend line. We did reject the moving average, right? If we go to the weekly time frame, we have this wave B, which is just one huge manipulation leg, right? Super green week and the super red week. That is a manipulation leg, which is a very, very bad bearish sign, right? So now seeing this bearish manipulation leg, that can signal us more downside can be made, right? Which is definitely not bullish, right? So now Apple, we're probably going to be shorting for a very, very long time, right? At least to 220, right? At the minimum, okay? So right now, if you're looking for a downside on QQQ, once it does confirm a breakout, then you can look for Apple shorts, right? Or if you want to short a little bit earlier, but you are fighting that QQQ trend, right? Now, the next one is Google. Okay, Google is still holding the moving average currently, but on the weekly at least. But we can still go higher to test this moving average again on the daily to give it a retest and then hopefully a rejection. If we do get that rejection, then we can go for more downside. Or if we want to reject the retest level of this wedge, then go for more downside. But overall, Google is pretty bearish with this rising wedge and wave 3 top at that 164% fib. We're not shorting Microsoft because it's already super weak. It's already bled a lot, right? Meta, you could do Meta, but it's still early for me. Overall, I would still pick Google and Apple, not Amazon yet. We are at the moving averages actually, so we are actually kind of rejecting. So once we see maybe a more clear of a rejection, or let's remove this. Yeah, once we see a better rejection, then we can look for shorts off of Amazon if we are wanting downside. But I just don't think we're there yet, right? Tesla again, Tesla's too late now. But overall, again, shorts for the actual Mag 7 would be Apple and Google, right? Now, again, I will still wait for QQQ to actually break to the downside before we execute any of these things, right? I hold a hedge, right? I hold a hedge in FNGD. I hold a hedge on CVI. Okay, CVI is a long on oil, right? Because the oil market is not going to be the same as SPY and QQQ. When SPY and QQQ pulls back, oil does not, right? It's going to run. Okay, and it also will run when SPY and QQQ goes higher, right? Oil is its own thing. Okay, so oil I do expect to see at least $95 for a main target, could be even way higher. So this is my hedge against QQQ also. So I have basically two edges and hedges, and then a little bit of SQQ, but barely, right? So basically, when I'm trying to look for those are the ones I'll do. Okay, a hedge or a direct short on QQQ or a direct short on Google or Apple. I wouldn't do any other name, right? Now, if you want to do something really, really fancy and you want to start shorting a high beta stock that is in rotation, like Nimbus or IREN, right? Then you could also short IREN or you could short Nimbus, okay? Although people are not going to like that. I would probably short IREN if I had to choose one, but shorts one, that could also be because obviously what is in rotation, like tech and AI and these data centers, when the market does crash, these are going to absolutely die off, which is then create an amazing short opportunity for you. Okay. However, Nimbus still does look bullish, look super bullish. Okay. So personally, I would not choose Nimbus. I would choose IREN, or even if you find another one that is in rotation that's a little bit better, you can do that too, like EOC or something. But IREN is still rejecting that weekly moving average. On the daily, still rejecting, right? So this one is still bearish compared to Nimbus. So if QQQ does break to the downside, IREN will probably be your best play for shorts if you wanted to take this route. Okay. Now, there is no right way, right? It's all up to you. Do you want to short just a QQQ ETF? Do you want to short a rotation stock like IREN? Do you want to short a Mag 7? Do you want to hold a hedge like FNGD, which is another ETF, right? So this is all up to you. Personally, what I'm doing is I'm just holding a hedge. I'm not going to directly short a company just because I can make a lot more on that hedge or ETF like FNGD or SQQQ, right? Then you can just shorting Apple unless you do options, right? Now, if you do options, this will completely change everything, right? You can probably make a lot more on the option shorts on the actual Apple or Google, right? So figure out which path you're going to go down, but those are the path I'm watching. And if you have any questions at all, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one.